today. Thanks for tuning in to our update from Helena. We decided to do something a little fun. We're going to try to broadcast to you from somewhere different every week. So today we're at the house that we rent during the session here in Helena so that we can be close to the Capitol and working for you. And so we'll just jump right into our update for you this week. We would encourage you to comment with questions as you have them, and we'll try our best to answer them. Likewise, if you're watching this when it's not live, you can still comment, and we'll come back and try to answer your questions there too. So it looks like we have 5-6 people on already. Thanks for joining us, folks. Also, it's kind of gray and dreary here, but at least it's not windy again today. So when you tune in, if you want to let us know where you're watching from and what your weather's like, we'd love to say hello to you. So there was a little thing blocking us here, but Rebecca's tuning in from Custer. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Lonnie. I'm sure there's going to be more of you, so I don't mean to leave anybody out, but we're just going to jump right in. So we worked on several bills this week. The bills are really starting to roll out, but we got to do some other exciting things as well. So we'll start out with those. We reached out to the Department of Agriculture and just wanted to touch base with them on what their priority bills were for the session and talk about their budget as well. And they graciously set up a really nice meeting with us with Christy Clark and several of the staff there from Helena, and also the new director-to-be, Mike Foster, joined us, which was really great. And we got to sit together with them in person and on the screen and talk about their priority bills. We got to share with them about our priority bills and also, ask them what was in their budget. And they were very gracious in sharing with us what their what all was included in their budget, answering our questions. So that was a great meeting. We really appreciated it. And then later in the week, we also got to meet with the new director of DNRC, the Department of Natural Resources, Amanda Castor. And we were very excited to get to meet her. She is newly appointed by Governor Gianforte, and she was just wonderful to visit with. We got to, like I said, share our priorities and kind of our background of things that our organization works with that agency on. She shared with us some things that she'd like to improve and change in the agency, and she's just going to do a great job. We know she is. So really excited to get to meet with 2 new directors this week and really look forward to their leadership. Both Director Foster and Director Castor are going to be fantastic. So that's really exciting news for Montana and for those of us who care about ag and natural resources.
Yes, we are so excited to get to learn about them. And part of what we did this week as well is learn about some of the budgets that were going on. Part of our meeting with the Department of Ag, they explained to us in great detail the budget that they were proposing this year, as well as the Department of Livestock. We got to hear about their budget. So on Tuesday morning, the Department of Livestock presented to the Appropriations Subcommittee for Natural Resources to explain their proposal for the next biennium on their budget, which includes a lot of great things and a lot of things that we really love as Farm Bureaus that help you guys, the members, including the proposal for the new Montana Veterinary Diagnostic Lab. So we were able to chime in and support them. We got to testify on that one via Zoom. So we just chimed in, said that we appreciate the Department of Livestock. We appreciate the Department of Livestock. We appreciate what they do for our members and for everything that they proposed in their biennium, that we supported that. On Wednesday morning, the Department of Ag got to propose their budget to the same committee, and like we heard from them in our meeting with them, they gave a very similar explanation to the committee, and we were able to support them as well. So we are excited to see the things that they're able to do and hopefully get all their budgets passed. Looks like we got quite a few people watching, so keep commenting and letting us know where you're tuning in from. We see Jasmine's in Glendive.
No wind today. That's pretty great.
We're pretty happy to hear that. It got windy here on Wednesday. We thought we were going to get blown away.
Sorry, we're working off my phone, so I have to get close to be able to see. But yeah, so very exciting that we were able to support both of their budgets, livestock and ag, this week. So very cool. So after that, we'll jump in on a few of the bills that we worked on this week as well. We supported 2 bills that were requested by the Livestock Loss Board. As you all know, that board oversees the livestock mitigation, livestock reimbursement programs that help farmers, well, mostly ranchers, people who own livestock, be reimbursed if they suffer losses from wolves, grizzly bears, and mountain lions. That's been a really important program over the last several years, and it's helped to. They also, in addition to reimbursing people who have sustained losses, they do some proactive work to prevent those losses by, with lethal and non-lethal measures to keep, those large predators away from livestock. And so 2 of the bills that we got to support, one, most recently, I guess this week, yesterday, Senate Bill 58 from Senator Cuff came out. That is that's new funding that will be given to the mitigation account, which can be used to prevent predation from happening. That's really important now in grizzly bear country, where that animal is still on the endangered species list and is very difficult to contend with. Mm-hmm. And so they're able to use that money to help do things like electric fencing, or we heard from someone testifying in support on it that uses it for range riders that go out and just physically keep the livestock away from the wildlife. Lots of interesting stories there about how they have to go out in pairs because the bears are actually so threatening. Mm-hmm. So, that's a great example of how important and needed this is. So we supported that bill. We also supported Senate Bill 27, and what it does is it allows the board to determine a multiplier and use it when reimbursing ranchers who've sustained losses. And to explain what a multiplier is it is a premise that usually when you have a loss from a wolf or a grizzly bear and a mountain lion as well, it's very hard to prove. So in order to be reimbursed under current law for this, you have to prove that it was a confirmed or very probable kill from one of these species, and that has to be done by a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service's, I don't want to say official, but person like your state trapper or someone, and usually there's not much left, right? And so even if you can confirm that one has been killed, there's a good chance that more than one has been killed. Plus there's other losses that you're sustaining, like reduced breed up rates, stress on your livestock that is maybe not allowing them to gain weight as quickly or maintain their condition, things like that. So a multiplier helps to compensate for that. If this passes, it puts that ability in place. It does not give them extra funding. This particular bill does not give them new funding for that. So that's something that will have to be done either with a separate bill this session or likely next session, just because of the tight budget situation. But it's something that that Livestock Loss Board would like the authority to do, and we supported them on that. And actually, both of those bills passed out of Senate Ag yesterday. So now I'll turn it over to Rachel to talk about something else, unless there's any questions on those. Doesn't look like it. Yeah. You'll also notice that Laura, I think, is helping us today, putting direct links to the bills we mentioned in the comments. So if you want to look them up yourself, you can sure do that.
Yeah, and if you have questions about them later on after you're watching this, just feel free to write them in the comments here, and we'll make sure they get answered. And if there's any questions that you have as we're talking, just jump in and we'll try and stop and answer them. But so this past year at our delegate session, some of you were able to attend that and be part of our policy development process. We had 2 new policies that came up that had to do with local county health officials and their different kinds of authority And so we were able to use that policy that came up this year, which was really timely for House Bill 121 as well as House Bill 144. So House Bill 121 was brought up, and what that one does is it changes the local county health officials and their authority. So right now, like, they were able to have authority to make mandates, but right now, or this bill, what that would do is that they would have to propose their plan to a local governing body. So that could be the county commissioners or different kinds of local governing
City
bodies.
councils.
Yep, yeah. So that bill was heard on Thursday at 3, one of our very busy times. So we were able to submit written comment on that. And keep your eye out in our legislative highlights that'll be coming out soon, and that'll be a great explanation in there as well. But that also leads into House Bill 144, which was heard this morning in House Judiciary, and that one talks about the local health officials being able to have a police officer either removed from office or charge them with a criminal record for a misdemeanor if they do not follow, if they don't enforce a mandate that's not set in statute. So we supported both of those, and go ahead.
Just to add that that's current law, is that that a local county health person can request the help, but then if the law enforcement does not provide that requested help, that law enforcement could be charged with a misdemeanor or be removed from office. And this bill removes that ability. They can still ask them for, the county health can still ask for the county law enforcement to help, but not, put them in jail for it or give them a ticket or something.
And that, honestly, it was almost directly out of our policy book that we were able to support that. So we appreciate our counties putting things forward to let us take part in these bills that we might not always be in our wheelhouse. So you could just goes to show that the policy development process through Farm Bureau is working, and we're able to do something with it. So,
and it's very timely.
Yes, absolutely. So keep yourself updated with what's going on this session as well as throughout the year. And so when next year comes around and you have policy that you might want to propose, you might have it might be able to be really helpful for our coming legislative sessions. So I'll let Nicole talk about a couple other bills too that we put some information into.
Okay. Yes, just checking the time here. We don't want to make these too long for you, but one bill I definitely want to touch on is Senate Bill 63 that we got to testify a little bit more back in our wheelhouse. It has to do with state lands and state lands leases. The main premise of the bill is actually to remove wind, solar, and geothermal energy lessees from a commercial classification, which is where they've been currently. That commercial classification for DNRC is usually when somebody like a Home Depot or a commercial business with a big building is going to build on state land, and obviously will be that for a very long time. So there were rules written for those types of things, and at one time wind, solar, and geothermal got lumped into there because they didn't really have a designated place. This bill pulls them out of there, and why that's important to us is twofold. One, currently if there were to be, we'll just use wind as an example, a wind lease put onto a state section that is also being leased for grazing or farming, that ag lease is automatically revoked and then reissued as a license. So it's kind of like unnecessary paperwork, but it also, a license isn't as good as a lease, right? So this bill changes that. Until there's an actual structure built there that would literally prevent you from using it, the ag and or grazing lease can continue. But also, I think maybe the more important part that this does is it really puts those leases on a more equal playing field, or our leases, the grazing and ag leases, more on an equal playing field with them, because it clarified that if there are damages or if you're no longer able to use any infrastructure that you as the lessee have put onto that state land, that you must be compensated by that wind, geothermal, or solar company. And that's how it is now, as you know. If I am leasing a state section for grazing and I put some water tanks on there, and then after my contract's up, I'm outbid, the next lessee has to immediately, I believe the language in the law is, reimburse those costs. And so now the same would be true of the wind company or whoever may be taking away your ability to use those potential upgrades or infrastructure that you have installed at your own cost. So really important thing there. We got to support a trespass bill that came from the Private Lands Public Wildlife Commission. Several things in that field, and there was just a lot of positive things this week, I believe. And so we just wanted to update you also about, I guess instead of going into all those details, we want to remind you about some ways you'll get all of the updates. So all of our members get a weekly newsletter, which one will be coming out this afternoon, that shows every bill that we're working, where it is, what policy we use to support or oppose it, progress, all those types of things. That goes out every Friday to our members. We do these, and we'll also have a printed newsletter, and your first one of those is scheduled to come out next week.
So I just wanted to say that the legislative e-source, which comes out weekly and goes to our members, that goes out through email. So if you're not getting them, which of course you won't know, so if you don't get it today and you're looking for it, make sure that your email address is in our system. So you can either call the office in Bozeman, and I know Tara would be happy to put your email in there and make sure it's correct, or you can email Tara at tarap@mfbf.org, and she'll get it in there. And then we can make sure that you're getting these updates. It's really important to us that you guys stay informed. We're here on behalf of Montana Farm Bureau, and we want to make sure you guys know what's going on. So make sure that your emails are updated. The legislative highlights will be mailed to you, so hopefully you'll get those in your mailbox at home. And so you'll see some stuff in your local newspapers and local papers that explain all this stuff in depth. So we want to keep you updated, but if make sure you're popping in here with questions if you've got them, or do it later if you're watching it later on, and we'll get them answered.
Yes, for sure. But if you even aren't sure what your email address is that you have with us, if you think you have it but you're not getting the notes from us, just make sure you can call and talk to Tara. And likewise, check your junk mailbox and put us on your safe sender list as well, because we'll also have a link to this video in that, so that might direct it to your junk mail, and we don't want to be in your junk, we want to be on your inbox. So I'm not seeing any questions, but if you guys have any for us, we would love to answer them, but this is kind of your 5-second notice that we're about to sign off. Unless there's anything else you want to add.
I don't think so. Thanks for joining us, those who did. Hopefully the weather stays good. I hope we had a really pretty sunrise here this morning, so hopefully everyone got to see the sunrise where you were, but we're here with the gray day now.
All right. Well, thanks again for tuning in, folks, and since I don't see any questions, I'm going to walk to the camera and shut it off.
Bye. Have a good day.